Welcome back to another exciting episode of Mad Money. Tonight, we're diving deep into the heart of innovation with one of the most influential figures in the tech industry, Jensen Huang, the CEO and co-founder of Nvidia. From its inception in 1993 as a company dedicated to revolutionizing graphics processing for gamers, Nvidia has evolved into a global leader in artificial intelligence and computing. Today, Nvidia powers everything from groundbreaking AI applications in healthcare and autonomous vehicles to data centers that drive our digital world. Jensen Huang has been at the forefront of this incredible journey, turning a small graphics company into a technology powerhouse, shaping the future of AI. In this exclusive interview, Cramer will uncover the story behind Nvidia's rise, the challenges it faced, and how its cutting-edge technologies are transforming industries worldwide. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, an investor, or just curious about how AI is shaping your world, this is a conversation you won't want to miss. If you enjoyed this introduction and can't wait to hear more about Nvidia's incredible journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like this video to show your support. And share it with your friends who love technology, innovation, and success stories. Let's spread the inspiration and keep the conversation going. Stay tuned.
Jensen Huang, and we are at what some people are calling, Jensen, the Woodstock of AI. But isn't it much more than that? Isn't it about a change in everything we do when it comes to digital, when it comes to creating, when it comes to thinking? You're changing that. Isn't that what we're doing out here?
Yeah, this is an incredible conference. This is NVIDIA's developer conference. Everything that we do starts with software. Everything we do starts with software. And everything we do is in service of all the software developers who are solving these really difficult algorithms. We are represented by $100 trillion of industry here. Healthcare is here, financial services are here, manufacturing, industrial, automotive, climate tech, holy cow, communications is here, consumers are here.
But people always think of you as hardware. You're talking about a different platform, a system that frankly may be unassailable from competitors, because once all these companies get involved with you, they're going to stick with Nvidia.
It's a very specialized way of doing computing called accelerated computing. And what we do is this, Jim, this is the observation a long time ago. 30 years ago, we observed that the CPU is really good at many things, but there are some things it's surprisingly ungood at. Parallel things that you could distribute across a large number of processors. And so what we did was we added NVIDIA to a CPU, we connected it to a CPU, offload the work that the CPU is not good at. And we run that work insanely fast. Well, surprisingly, that work that the CPU is not good at represents 95% of the time that is spent in computing. We offload that 95% of the time, and we run it 100 times faster.
But you're talking about a total do-over of all technology.
Yeah.
You're talking about everything. Our country's building new plants that are using old technology. If that's the case, it's wrong.
Well, we should build amazing semiconductor plants here. And we'd be more than happy to build all kinds of chips here. But it's very clear that in the future, that general purpose computing, it's like a general purpose almost anything, general purpose instrument of any kind, it's not very efficient. Right. There are many types of things that we want to do very efficiently. Computation of mathematics, we want to do very, very efficiently. And so as a result of doing it efficiently, you drive the cost down, you use less energy. One of our computers, this is our latest generation, this is the chip that goes into it. This is the largest chip the world's ever seen. This is beyond the limits of physics. We had to invent some new technology to make it possible to do this.
How many bits are in?
208 billion transistors.
In that?
Gosh, it's even hard to...
What we're looking at?
In this little tiny part in the middle.
And what should that cost?
This will cost, $30,000, $40,000.
And how much did you spend to develop?
The very first one, the R&D budget of this generation is probably something like $10 billion.
10 billion, not million. $10 billion. And you deserve the right to be able to recoup that, and you're doing it.
Well, we're going to do our very best job. And this computer here,
and the name of that computer?
This is called the Blackwell computer. This computer here has...
a very...
Yes, a mathematician.
Right. steam mathematician.
Yeah, really terrific mathematician. And this computer here will replace thousands of general purpose computers. This is the part that's incredible. In fact, what's amazing is that the cables of connecting last generation general purpose computers, the cables of connecting them, cost more than the price of one of these computers. The amount of energy that we save is incredible. Megawatts and megawatts and megawatts. Because of this, we made it possible for the computer to write software by itself. It is so insanely fast. Now the software can write, the computer could write its own software, and we call that artificial intelligence.
So if that's the case, why do we still need us?
Well, we still have to guide the software. We have to create the algorithms such that the computer can go write software. And that algorithm is called deep learning. Yes, really quite a remarkable thing that happened in the last 12 years.
And if we ask it questions, we inference,
yeah,
it speaks our language?
Well, if you ask it a question, first of all, it not only recognizes the words, but it understands your meaning. It understands the meaning because
nuance?
Oh, sure. You can give it you say, I would like to, first of all, I'm going to let you read this book, read Moby Dick, and then I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about it. And so first it goes off and reads it, and it takes, a flash of a second.
But does it understand why Ishmael is just completely driven by Moby Dick?
Absolutely, because it read the end of the story. It read the end of the story. And not only that, it's read a whole bunch of other stories. And so it understands the context of the conversation, but it also has encoded within it a lot of things that it's already read from society.
Okay, but you're describing something that's different from earnings per share. You're describing wonderment. You're describing it creating something that can replace trillions of dollars of what we don't need anymore, do it faster, do it more productively, do it cleaner. Everything has to be replaced.
There's a lot of waste in the world.
Right.
There's a lot of waste in the world. Oftentimes we can't chase it down. Of course, there's a lot of wasted energy used in doing computing, and now with accelerated computing, we could make it a lot more efficient. There's a lot of waste in just about every single industry. The challenge is that we've never been able to use a computer to understand the information of that industry. One of the things that's really exciting is we've been able to sequence genes, but we've never been able to understand what it means. We've been able to...
So we didn't understand what the proteins do?
We can begin to understand what a protein does.
Well, if we do that, then we can do drug trials in 60 days instead of 6 years. So companies will tackle the tough illnesses that they can't afford to tackle.
That's exactly right. At the very minimum, you still have to go through trial and do trials on people and things like that, but we could reduce the time that it takes to go through the entire search space of drugs and proteins and targets, and that search space is just gigantic. It's impossible for humans to do it. We can now, because computers with artificial intelligence can understand the language of biology, we could sort through that a lot more quickly.
Well, how about the last frontier? Can it understand a factory?
Well, the last frontier, we have to teach it to understand physical things. It has to understand that when you drop something, it falls to the ground, but it doesn't go through the ground. You have to understand that mechanical hinges work in a particular way. And so this mechanical hinges work in a particular way, or the laws of physics. This is no different than word sequences and sequences of sentences turned into paragraphs and so on and so forth. The computer can learn to understand physics and learn to understand mechanical things.
But can it also learn?
Once it does that, then we can understand how to compute how a factory works.
Can it understand Big Mac fries, Diet Coke?
It's common sense.
It's common sense.
It's common sense, and therefore, of course, if you order fries, you should also, recommend some Diet Coke.
Does it bother you that in the end we're trying to figure out whether it's $1 trillion for Nvidia, $300 billion for AMD? Are these two pedestrian? Are these questions pedestrian versus the 10 years you've worked to get here?
Well, first of all, we do very different things.
Okay.
Nvidia is an accelerated computing company. If you look at the things that we do, we build the chips, the systems, the networking, and so on and so forth, the entire data center practically, all the software that goes into it. And then we sell it in parts. The reason why we sell, and that is what confuses people. They think that Nvidia is a chip company because we sell everything in parts.
Right.
The reason we do that is so that our customers could integrate Nvidia's technology into their data centers however they like.
Before we go into what is going on here, our viewers want to thank you. Thank you for allowing them to be able to retire on your stock, put their kids through school, to change their lives. And I think it's good manners to say thank you.
Well, I want to say thank you to all of the shareholders. With their support, we were able to do our work and realize our hopes and dreams and make a real contribution to the industry and to the world. So I want to thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome, okay? Because we have to start that way, because what you've created here is something that is remarkable, that is being rewarded by the stock market, $2 trillion valuation. So I ask you, what has Nvidia done to deserve such a valuation? And maybe it's still inexpensive.
There's probably never been a technology company that has made a greater technology contribution to one of the most important industries in the world, and at such large scale. We reinvented the computer as we know it. The computer has been the same since 1964, since the year after I was born. And we reinvented it with this idea called accelerated computing. Now, you could have a computer that's 100 times faster or 20 times more energy efficient, cost 20 times less, and to be able to solve problems at a scale that nobody's ever imagined, such that we helped solve artificial intelligence. And we're now on our way to making enormous progress in automation of intelligence. And as you know, intelligence is foundational to every single industry. And that's the reason why they're all here.
Is this a factory of intelligence?
This, in the future, this is exactly this right here that you're looking at. Can you guys see this? These servers are the densest computers in the world. This replaces entire data centers in the past. And it shrinks them into this little tiny data center here. And this rack here would probably be more powerful than almost all of the computers in the world today.
5 years, will there be some, or 2 years, will this be slow?
Every couple of years, we'll be coming up with something so much more incredible. In the last 8 years, we improved performance per chip, per one of these chips. We improved the performance of one of these chips by 1,000 times in the last 8 years.
So that means it can talk about a movie? Does it mean it can read Anna Karenina? What does it mean that it's so fast?
Well, first of all, it's probably read those things and probably read about the movies. And so if you wanted to ask it a question about those movies or a book, you say, read this book. Now let me talk to you about this book. And you can talk to it about just about anything.
Now, can it make it so that a product like the Vision Pro becomes a commercial product, where it would be great to be able to step into a car, find out what it feels like, what it sees, and maybe that would be the sales element for a car company?
Well, first of all, I've enjoyed the Vision Pro, and I got to tell you, it's really fantastic. I really, really enjoy it, and they've done such a great job with it. The tracking, the tracking with the world, the registration of all of the objects in the world, you feel like you're really, really in it. The thing that's really great is when we connect Vision Pro with this world we call Omniverse, and it's running on these computers, we essentially create this digital world that's overlaid with the physical world. And Apple calls it spatial computing, and you feel like you're practically there. It's really quite amazing.
At the same time, if we switch and we're Bristol Myers, we're Merck, or one of these biotech companies, it costs a fortune to do a trial.
Yeah.
And because it costs a fortune to do a trial, they don't do trials, or they try to solve the easy illnesses. I talked to Kimberly Powell, who's your vice president of healthcare, and it is very clear that beginning with Blackwell, we will not do trials the way we've done, and we will go after Parkinson's. We'll go after schizophrenia, the things that no one can conquer. They're now within your ken. They're now possible.
Just as we use the technology, artificial intelligence, to understand a novel, we can use a similar technology to go understand the meaning of proteins, the meaning of life.